Good morning. My name is Xavier, and with these videos, I would like to introduce you the Workframe that we are creating for the organizations or companies that they have installed Decidim. Decidim is a platform sponsored by the Barcelona City Council, and you may get much more information in this address here, and you also can see the companies, councils, or any organization that is using this platform. The program that we will use for all the testing process is Testlink. Testlink is an open source management program, and you can download it here in testlink.org. But I strongly suggest you to use Bitnami instead of this one, because in Bitnami you have a whole package that makes easy to install not only Testlink but the database, PHP, everything. Obviously, if you already have all these components installed in your computer, you just go to testlink.org and install only Testlink. In any case, the installation is is not complicated really. So as you can see, I already have installed Testlink, and the servers are running, and the database is running as well. So the only thing I have to do is just log in Testlink. I already create a user, a Decidim user. So click login, and okay, that's the desktop of Testlink. That's the dashboard. It's not nice and not is really friendly, but it's quite powerful. And being free is extremely handy. I mean, I love it. I hate the looks, but I love the way it is. So I already create a project, but if you don't have it, just is easy to create one. Just go to test project management, click in create one, write the name for the project, and select the different options. It's quite easy, no big deal. After you create the project, just click in this icon, project. This icon, it's always gonna bring you back to this home page or this dashboard or whatever. Okay, now that we already have our project, what we need is a test plan. A test plan is a document that describes the scope of the testing activities, what we have to test, when we have to test it, the way we have to test it. In internet, you have plenty of information about test plans and templates that you can use. But basically, any test plan must have an ID, a name, or identifier that links this test plan with all the test case and requirements and everything that we will need in this project. A brief introduction, a list of all the things that we will test, and a list of all the things or elements or functionalities that we will not test. That's very important. We have to make it very clear the things that we will not test, our approach to the testing, the errors and the amount of errors that we will accept and the ones that we will reject, schedule, the responsibilities, and what I call signs. I mean, who approve all these documents. It's important to do nothing until you have all the test plan approved. Once we have the test plan approved, then we can create a test plan from this option, test plan create. And then we can write here all the information in these windows. But it's much easier to create the document in a Word editor outside from Testlink and then do a copy paste here. I already made a test plan that you can use. It is in GitHub. In this repo in GitHub, you have all the information about this workframe that we are creating for Decidim. Here in test plan, you have the test plan that I'm using. You can use it as a template. Do not copy because it's not going to be like the one you need, but you can use it. You also have here information about test cases, requirements. Well, anyway, after we create our test plan, then we can open it in LibreOffice or Microsoft Word. We select it and we copy it here in the window. Let me check out that everything it has been copied correctly. It looks nice. Okay, perfect. Now we write a title, Decidim test plan tutorial, and we make it active and public. So click and create. Okay, we already have our test plan created and active. Now let's check out that everything is okay, that the format is correct. To read a test plan can be very boring, so we better create test plans with a nice format, at least in a nice way to read. Okay, another interesting option in Testlink is that the possibility that you have to create another test plan for the same project. That's that comes quite handy when you have to create test case for security and have a different team of people for security. So you may create a test plan just for security issues, like we do now. We create another test plan only for security issues. Write the name, okay, Decidim, test plan security. We write some text here. Here in this window, you have to create or you have to type all the test plan, all the everything that you may need. We just write some text to have this window with some text. We make it active and we don't make it public. So create, okay. You see here we have a test plan for just for security issues and another one more general for all the other things that we will have to do during this project. Now, let's go back to the main window and select the release that we will be working on. There is no release, no build, so we have to create the first one. I'm gonna call it version 1 because that's the first installation of this platform. If we were working in software development, then we will try to synchronize these builds with the builds of the software, like each release has its own release here in Testlink. But that's not the case, so this name is good enough. Now some text and release date. Okay, any date will be suffice for this tutorial. Let's click on create. Okay, we already have our build. Let's go back to the main window and let's recap. We have our project. We create a test plan which we will describe everything that we have to know in order to do this project. We have our build, so it looks like we are ready to begin the testing. But in fact, the test plan is way too generic. We need a much better detailed description of each feature or each menu in this platform. There is a document that indicates or explains what each feature is supposed to do exactly. That document usually is in the requirement specifications. So let's go and click here. Obviously, there is nothing. We're just beginning from scratch. Here you will have usually all the requirements, and then that's the thing you have to check out that everything works fine. We can approach this in two different ways. We can, like in the test plan, create a new one. Just click on the create button and begin to text all the requirements, or we can import a new one. Obviously, it's much better to import a document with all the requirements. I have a requirements document already done, and is as before in this repo in GitHub in deck test. You see, click here, requirements, download the last requirements document. This is the last one, I guess so. And once you download it, you can import it in Testlink. Let's go back to Testlink and click on import. Okay, all the documents have to be XML, and just navigate to the wherever you downloaded the document and upload it. I don't remember where I left it. Let me see. Here it goes. Okay, now we have it. Just click on upload file. That's the list of all the requirements that I already import. Each requirement explains what each feature, each button, or each module of this platform has to do, and you have here all well ordered. You see, when you click in each one, it tells you what it's supposed to do. That's the basement that you will use to create your test case or to link the test case. So, if the test plan is the first basic step for any good testing program, the second basic step is the requirements document, because it's the one that will define precisely what each feature or what each menu or what each whatever in this platform or in this software is supposed to do. So if you want to test what each feature does, first you must know what this feature is supposed to do. Here in the requirements document, we'll have every feature defined, and we'll link each test case which this feature precisely to check out that this works fine, that validate that this feature really works. So take your time, go through all the requirements, and be sure that everything is crystal clear. So once we have the final document, I suggest you to create an HTML document. You can create it inside Testlink. This is very useful because it allows you to easily share all the requirements with other people from marketing, product, or development. So you have here an HTML document with links to each requirement. So you can check out each one just clicking on the link, and here you have all the information about this requirement. So let's go back to Testlink, close this HTML page, and take a deeper look at the requirements page. Here on top of it, we always have this ID. That's a unique name for this requirement that we will use to identify this requirement from the test cases. Below this, we have the version, the revision, the status, the type of requirement. This is a use case requirement, and the number of test case needed. It says 5. That means that the person who designed this requirement decided that at least there must be 5 test cases to check out that this requirement works fine. Here, after all this description, this is the description about what this requirement does. Here we have the related requirements, because sometimes there's a relation between different requirements. And here we have the coverage. This is empty. Here we are supposed to have all the test cases needed, but so far it's empty. We have no test cases loaded. Remember, here it says that we need 5 test cases, but so far we didn't load or create any test case. Well, enough for today. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the second video.